everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Chocolate Beauty. Today we're going to be talking about Married to Medicine. Let's get into it. The episode opens up with Toya drunk and screaming at everybody. She ends up leaving the friend that she brought with her to the party, Anelia. She was upset about something that had nothing to do with her. I don't think that it's any of her concern, and maybe it's just the liquor speaking for her, but she needs to mind her business and let Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone figure out their friendship. Dr. Heavenly needs to do the same thing too. Now, I don't understand where it comes off with trying to be the mediator of that friendship, because one of the issues that they have is because of her. They just need to mind their business, especially like I think that Dr. Heavenly is the wrong person to try to help repair anything. I feel that Dr. Jackie doesn't have the same argument as Dr. Simone. The only thing that Dr. Simone said was she agreed with Duffy that Dr. Jackie should not have told anybody about her being infertile because it was inappropriate. It just really compromises the core values of ethics in her own field. She feels that Simone is supposed to have her back. No, wrong is wrong. But it can be possible that she was just trying to get under Dr. Simone's skin at that time. You can't compare a friendship that you had for 20 years to somebody who you've only been friends for maybe about 5 or 6 years. So I can understand why Dr. Simone is just not feeling you, Dr. Jackie, but there is something else going on when it comes to that. Toya decides to have a conversation with her sons. She recently pulled them out of school because she felt like there wasn't enough diversity there. She talks to them about why she pulled them out of the school that they were in. She also brought them to a Black Lives Matter protest, trying to give them a clear view of what's currently going on in the world. Some people may not agree with the way that she went about it, but it's her children, so she could do whatever she wants. I feel like you should have these type of conversations with your children because this is something that our community is going through and facing right now. Dr. Contessa and her husband are opening a practice together. Now, they had a lot of issues in their marriage, and they still have issues in their marriage. They went through counseling, and her husband told her he didn't want to go through counseling. They can figure it out on their own, but they are still struggling. There's a lot of underlying issues that needs to be resolved, and it's taking them a lot longer. They had a conversation about the progress of their marriage and how they are struggling a little, but they're going to still go ahead and open this practice. So they went to the building that they were renovating for their practice, and it's crazy because, you know, they're doing this during a global crisis, and it's crazy that they're going to be working next to each other and have so many marital issues. I just think that it's just not a good idea, but they feel that it will strengthen their marriage, and they worked together before, but I don't think they ever worked together when they were having a hard time in their marriage. So this is going to be very new. Dr. Contessa's husband hasn't always been supportive of her finishing her degree. She ends up leaving school because it was causing so many issues in her marriage that her husband said, you know what, I think that you should go back. So her husband pretty much gave her permission to go back to school, which is crazy because he's a doctor himself. Dr. Heavenly decides to show the precautions and steps that she takes in order to see her patient. Funky Dineva came and got some dental work done. Dr. Simone's son graduated. Now, everybody was invited except for Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie. Now, the issue with not inviting Dr. Jackie is that Dr. Jackie was the one that delivered her son and has a relationship with her son. So it was kind of sad to not see somebody who has been so active in their life not be there. It really shows you a different side of the beef between Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, because one thing Dr. Jackie did say was that she feels like it's something else, and I agree. Here's the thing though, I think maybe Dr. Jackie has done a few things to Dr. Simone that she has kind of just pushed under the rug and kept it moving. One thing about an uneven friendship, it's bound to fall apart. I think that maybe Dr. Jackie choosing Dr. Heavenly's side was the straw that broke the camel's back. And everything that Dr. Jackie has ever done to her that she just pushed under the rug or just ignored kind of came back full circle. I think that Dr. Simone probably did was look at the old offenses that Dr. Jackie has done to her. Now, I would do the same thing, because if somebody shows me that they're a jackal continuously, and then they show me they're a jackal in front of other people, I'm going to be like, well, just wait a second. You are a jackal for real. So let me pull up all the other times that you showed yourself to be a jackal. Oh, it was this time when we went out to Cancun. Oh, it was when, you remember when the time that she said something at the birthday party? Things like that come up. So I believe that this is not the first time this has happened in between Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, where Dr. Simone had to question her friendship and her loyalty. There could have been multiple times, but this time it was right in front of her face. She said it publicly. And so I think that what it is that she took a step back and was like, wait, this is not the first time I've seen this in our friendship. And some people will say, oh, you shouldn't look at that. Well, that's how a lot of people end up in bad situations. You look at people who moved up in the world, become famous, and then they have that toxic friend, and they love them regardless of how they fall short, but they're extremely toxic. It's like every single time they come around you, either something is moved in your house or something was taken from your house. And when I say that, I mean some friends may have switched on them and they don't know why that person switched on them. And it's because of this toxic friend, or that person is leaking out information to the press about your personal life, and you're trying to get ahead and trying to make it, but you got this one toxic friend that's letting out information. That's why I use that picture of someone coming in your house and moving things around or taking things out. So we don't know what exactly happened, but I think that that's probably an issue for Dr. Simone with Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly must have had a pattern of just not being a good friend, to where now Dr. Simone has taken a step back. When people throw you red flags, you can't ignore them, regardless of who they are. They start throwing red flags, you have to look at it. So I think that's where Dr. Simone is when it comes to her relationship with Dr. Jackie. It doesn't make any sense that she would take this hill and make it into a mountain. No, that mountain was already there. Is that Dr. Jackie just kept adding on to it. Dr. Jackie's husband was like, listen, you have to try to fix whatever issues that you got. Find out what's going on. Find out how to fix your friendship, because this is outrageous. The kids should be off limits. And especially since you've been there for the kids, you need to find out what's going on. She's known that boy all his life and been a part of his life. It goes to show you that there's something else deeper going on. If you're saying that, okay, well, not only do I not want you to be a part of my life, I'm not willing to put whatever I feel to the side to even invite you to my son's graduation, even though he views you like his aunt. It's going to be interesting to see why exactly Dr. Simone is acting this way towards Dr. Jackie. I want to get to the bottom of it. I feel like it's because Dr. Jackie has done things to Dr. Simone in the past. Instead of dealing with it head on, she pushed it under the rug. And the reunion with Dr. Heavenly was the one that put a nail in the coffin. So I want to know what was going on, since they're sharing their lives on TV. All right, you guys, thank you for watching my latest recap on Married to Medicine, Season 8, Episode 2. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. Ciao.